Good morning, everybody.
Say good morning, Bells. Say good mornings.
Melissa here. It is a beautiful sunny morning, but it is freezing. It's like 40 degrees. So, anyways, I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about my journey, my life journey, I guess you could say, but not really my whole life, but just more about kind of my spiritual awakening back in 2020. I don't know if anybody else has gone through a spiritual awakening, but I remember mine very clearly. And I remember really when it hit me things were never going to be the same for me. The way I viewed things, the people around me, the people I connected with, it changed everything. I was working at a clothing store, and I remember I would have my earbuds in like while I was doing, putting clothes away or whatever, listening to different podcasts. Gaia was really big that I listened to a lot, and there was another one, I can't think of the name right now, but something, oh gosh, it's gonna drive me nuts. Anyways, I'll look up the name. There was 2 different channels that I watched that really opened my eyes to a lot of what was going on in the world, and it was a video about 9/11, and this was coming from a legitimate channel now, right? Like legitimate proof. This wasn't some like wonky little real video or you're like, and this was before AI. So it was a video proving and showing that the buildings exploded before the planes even hit. So basically showing you proof positive that our government and it was all planned. Everything, the whole thing. I don't know the exact order of the planning, but all I know is that that's what really started to open my eyes to more conspiracies, I guess you could say, with the government and things. And I think we can all agree now that our world is just trying to keep us sick. We have every commercial on TV or every other commercial is for a pharmaceutical drug, right? And we have a $1.75 trillion industry in pharmaceuticals. So we've got chemtrails now over our heads, which when you see in other states are worse than others. Some people's above their heads, I've seen thousands of photos where it looks like checkerboards above in the sky, and this is literally these pilots, they're paid, they're going up there knowing that they're spraying chemicals down in the air. And like I said, multiple videos I've watched on this where you could actually see people scraping this chemical off their hood of their car with a credit card. Our fruits, they've even talked about how our soil is going to be depleted of its nutrients by the year 2035. You would have to eat 7 oranges now to get the same amount of nutrients of an orange back from the 60s and the 70s before we ruined and destroyed our world, destroyed our land. It's insane. It's insane that organic and non-organic, there's no difference. Or all organic is just planting without pesticides. So I guess there is a big difference, right? So them just gardening naturally, then they charge us more when, this is the fruit that has, or the vegetable, or this was what we were meant to eat. This was what God or the universe put here for us to nourish ourselves, was to eat from the ground. We're not carnivores. We don't have fangs. We're not supposed to rip flesh. We're not supposed to eat flesh. Just like how I talked about grounding, right? So everything has a frequency. We are 7.83 hertz, just like the ground. So that's why when you take your shoes off and you connect your feet to the actual earth, you're grounding yourself. Like a wire needs to be grounded when you put electricity in, right? Okay? This is what I've learned that has literally taken me out of my depression, where I don't need to depend on antidepressants anymore. I depended on antidepressants the first half of my life. And then after having this awakening and researching just so many different things, crystals. I mean, I carry rocks in my pockets all the time. I don't have any with me right now. I got an amethyst around my neck. And I have a balancing chakra bracelet, the 7 chakras on my wrist right now, because crystals have frequency. This was what the pharaohs and the Egyptians, what they used to use to build the pyramids. They didn't move that with a machine, with a crane or anything. They moved it with frequency from the crystals. In those sound tombs, those chambers they would find down in the pyramids. Imagine a piece of quartz, the size of a punch buggy car, combined with certain sounds from bells. They would harness this energy to make things levitate and move using sound frequency. I mean, I've always been fascinated in that kind of stuff. So when I started learning about all this, as exciting as it was, I mean, my mind, it was like video after video. I was so excited when I learned, I think I've talked a little bit about water, the woman that found out water has consciousness. So over 40,000 samples of taking water and freezing it in a petri dish. And right at that moment, when the water is freezing, the scientist, she figured out she would think something like a ladybug, a leaf, a zebra, whatever. But at that exact moment when the water was freezing, and then when she would hold it up in the light, that shape would be frozen in the water. I mean, come on. So if water has consciousness, and our bodies are made up of over 75% water. Do you see the correlation I'm getting at here? Of thoughts create reality, water has consciousness. I mean, we literally are electromagnetic beings. So if we learn to tune out the background noise in our minds, focus on what we want. And it's not even about focusing about what you want. It's about transmitting that frequency through your actions, through your personality. Your personality creates your personal reality. You ever hear that one? So if you have a shitty personality, guess what? You're gonna get a shitty reality. Okay? And I mean, learning all of this was like, oh my God. Like I felt like God or the universe just gave me all the answers to everything, right? But that's the thing. We are so programmed in a negative mindset. TV programming. What do you think that is? That's another thing. When you start learning about that, about TV programming, they want to program you to think and feel a certain way. Same thing with the 5G. The 5G towers, this is another frequency. So, after COVID, go get vaccinated. You got to get vaccinated. And it was all a lie. We all know this. We all know that it killed millions of people. My mother was one of them. So this became a very sore subject for me, but also made me dive even deeper into just, holy shit, all the answers of the universe. Like, they're right within us. We are God. Like, don't you realize, like, we are a chunk of Him, of the Creator, whatever you want to call Him. We are a chunk of Him broken off, and we are supposed to be here on this planet to fulfill a purpose. We sign a soul contract before we are even born, before we even come down here. That's another thing, near-death experiences. For those of you that have never watched anything on those, I mean, death isn't the end. Death is the freaking beginning. That's where it began. We're only fearful and scared of what we don't know. We're only fearful and scared of how we're going to die, if it's going to hurt, if it's going to be painful. But that's the thing. When the government, they want to keep us overstimulated. They want to keep us sick so they can keep charging us and pumping us full of all the medications, because like I said, it's a $1 trillion industry. The greed and the power, let's go about, come on. The greed and the power has completely consumed us as a society. The war, the war's good. It helps. It helps what? Freaking war don't help shit. Killing millions of people don't help shit. What are you fighting over? Oil? We don't even need oil. They charge us for freaking electricity and heat. Oh, but the Netherlands has figured out how to take their actual literal garbage. They buy barges of garbage to have sent over there so they can heat and light their houses with it. Fossil fuel. I mean, it's once you realize the sickness that is this world now, I kind of then went into like a mild depression over it. It was like, at first it was like super exciting, right? Like learning all this new information, right? To where at one point I had to like slow down because my brain had to catch up with everything. And then that's the thing, like, then it kind of made me go into like a mild depression because I felt like nobody understood me anymore because I had this complete and utter shift in perspective of everything around me now, of everything that I thought I knew. And the biggest one for me is going from believing that the world is round to flat. And that is not easy for me to say out loud, but over the last couple of years, researching, watching videos, listening, learning, it doesn't make sense that we are on a ball that's spinning 1,000,000 miles an hour and gravity's holding us on. No. Learning about the ancestors and the ancients, old maps, the always looking up to the stars for the answers. But we now know that we need to look up and out. It as above, so below. It makes more sense to me. I'm not going to go into all that right now, but these are the things that changed. I mean, there was just so much with this awakening. And like I said, I went through so many, it's like a roller. It still is, because when I think I'm done learning things, new things come up. Like copper. Why do you think they took pennies away? Oh, because they said they're too expensive. Whatever the frickin' excuse they give. No, it's because copper and the bodies go hand in hand. It's got healing properties to it. They want to take anything and everything away from us that make us better. And they want to keep us sick. That's it. Look. And if you don't believe me, just look at the commercials. You don't believe me? Look at our president of the United States during COVID, Joe Biden, went on TV live saying during hurricane season is a better time to get your COVID vaccine. What? What the fuck does hurricane season have to do with getting a COVID vaccine? You know, I felt so bad. So many guinea pigs, and my mom ended up being one of them. And you know, this will show you right here also the power of manifestation, that we create our reality by our thoughts. My mother obsessed over me not getting that last vaccine. She was so adamant about it. I mean, every time I talked to her on the phone, sorry, I thought there was like poop on the leash, because earlier I dropped it and she started taking a poop on the leash. So every time we'd have a conversation on the phone, she'd be like, "Don't get that last COVID booster." I'm like, "Mom, I don't know how many times I've got to tell you over and over again, none of us have ever been vaccinated. None of us are ever going to get vaccinated, okay? Like, don't worry about it." But she kept talking about it. She was so beside herself, I think, that she actually did it. And she manifested her death. She had a pulmonary embolism. She was so scared. She's like, "Oh, these people are dying of pulmonary embolisms. Doesn't matter how old or age or this or that." But yeah. And then she ended up dying from it. Like, just like I believe all the years of me having dreams of my teeth falling out, that was my self showing my future self what was going to happen. Having to have all my teeth taken out. Having my last 2 kids late in life, back to back. Nobody explaining to me how they take your calcium away. I thought it was because I wasn't taking very good care of myself for a few years when I was still in my addiction. That's what I thought it was from. But my own mother tells me differently. And then the dentist tells me. I'm like, well, I'm glad that, you know, somebody ended up telling me this, so I could have taken more. But see, that's the thing. As much as I thought, now, you know, going back, when I was in college, I went in originally for nursing school, but then I had so much going on. I was a young mother. I lived with, you know, my daughter's father, and we were going through a separation, so I was moving out, moving back home. I had a new job. I had 18 credit hours. I had so much. I didn't have enough time, and I was a single mom now with a little baby. So I went into health and fitness, and I got a degree in health and fitness, and I taught aerobics for several years, right? So as healthy, and then I actually, at that time, this was before the phone, so I actually taught myself stuff at the library about macrobiotics. Stop! Why are you pulling me? Oh my God, Bella. Macrobiotics. She drives me nuts when she does that. It's like I'm trying to go one way and she's pulling me another way. It's just, oh my God. And my lady friend is here, so I have to go talk to her now at the dog park. But yeah, I taught myself. And then I was a vegan for 2 years. Oh my God. And I mean, as much as I thought I learned at the time, Bella, please, we're going that way, okay? Can you please just walk this way? She's so stubborn and she's so strong. She literally pulled me down on my butt the other day. And the guy was like, are you okay? And it's like, dude, could you just please get out of here with your dog? Like, no, I'm on my ass. Like, go, please. Stop. But yeah, as much as I thought I knew, when I had this awakening, I mean, and I'm still learning. I'm learning now that we don't even need to eat, but 3 times a week. Fasting regenerates your cells. And I mean, I could go on and on and on about this, but now I'm at the dog park, so I'm going to go, everybody. But I will be back, and everybody have a wonderful, blessed day. Talk to you later.